As promised, in studio, we have the always fun and charming and hilarious and hardworking and super mom, Amber Flynn of Grand Forks, our partner up in Grand Forks. How are you, my friend?
Doing well. I have a little bit of a cold today.
Well, I think your voice is a little bit sullen. I will also speak softer so I don't just steamroll this whole conversation. Fair?
That's good. I feel like I'm like a raspy, bluesy singer today.
Yeah, I feel like you smoked a pack right before you came in.
Yeah, I didn't, but it might sound like it.
Yeah.
So.
And then you shoved a couple cigarettes up your nose too, just so that doesn't filter out.
Yeah.
We got real graphic here right away at the top. Amber, I of course know you and know you well, but our listening audience has only met you a couple of times. Give us an idea of who you are, your background, and how you found yourself in real estate now, because I think you have a really fun story.
Sure. Well, I came to Grand Forks via England, actually. I was living in England with my parents and my brother. They were both stationed there in the Air Force, and we moved here a couple years before the flood of 97, which is kind of interesting timing nowadays, right? Or as we're hearing
irony
about,
is high.
Yeah. So I moved here, really never left. Did a short stint in Bismarck after grad school. Of course.
Did you hear we're open in Bismarck now?
Yes,
hey,
I did. I did.
You were sitting right next to me when I just said it, but yeah it's really great.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I have a little piece of my heart is, in Bismarck. And so, but of course I graduated from the University of North Dakota. So, that was a really fun time and exciting.
I graduated from NDSU, right?
Yeah. I think I did know that.
Yeah, I think we've maybe jabbed a time or two at that, but a great hockey team.
Did you do your bracket?
I did. I have NDSU losing, and this actually will air on Sunday, so everybody will go, yep, we all had NDSU losing as well, which is great.
So we'll be hopeful, maybe.
Yeah,
but I had NDSU losing as well.
That's okay. It's Duke, right?
Yeah. So I live in Grand Forks now with my husband and two daughters. I was working in the violence prevention field for a little bit at our local college, UND. I'm on the school board in town, so that's a fun and exciting time to also be a parent of a school-age child and kind of understand those impacts. So I love Grand Forks. Grand Forks is cooler, in my opinion. That's our kind of slogan. But we are a really unique town. For those of you who don't know, cream of wheat was invented in Grand Forks.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so it's I don't know if you grew up eating cream of wheat.
I couldn't afford it. No, it was I couldn't afford that fancy cream of wheat stuff.
the bulk package from Costco.
Basically,
But
I was the Flavor 8 cream of wheat brand.
Yeah. That's kind of a fun fact. But that's kind of me in a nutshell. So.
Married, 2 girls, beautiful and fun and sweet and crazy and all those things in between.
Yeah.
So you got into real estate about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I saw it as an opportunity to really utilize my passion in a different way. So I loved the job that I was doing. I was making a great impact at the college with the students that I was working with. But this job really impacts the community and utilizes my passion in such a different way. Every single person I've talked to has a story. And I think that's one of the really cool pieces of this job is one day we can go into a home and someone's really struggling, or their family member died and they need to sell their home, or they're really excited about moving to Grand Forks and they're starting a new life, or they're buying their new home. And it's really cool for me to be able to have an impact on them, have an impact on our community. We're a heavy base community, so we serve a lot of airmen coming here from the Air Force, and a lot of veterans as well. And so that obviously has a special piece in my heart to welcome those individuals to a new community as well.
I heard 2 very clear passions in there. One was community and the other was impact. And I think that the impact of knowing the emotions that go into real estate, we don't talk about it as much as we probably should. We can talk about the logic of real estate and we can give market stats all we want, but real estate is deeply emotional, isn't it, Amber?
Yes. I wish I had a chart of like emotions that you go through in the real estate process. You find this home that you like, then you get an inspection and you uncover something that, wasn't on the surface. And what do we do with that? And then there's closing. And then obviously you're excited for that, but then you have to move your stuff, right? So then it kind
You've never been more happy and angry in a day, right?
Yeah. It definitely ebbs and flows. But, on the sell side too, there's emotions of, what if your home isn't selling and you're moved out of state already and what do we do with that? But I think the really neat part is we can show people the impact we're making locally in the community in terms of where we're at, the different things we're involved in. And I think that it's an exciting time for us to work with them while they're going through the home buying or home selling process. So
I'm really proud of you, Amber, and I don't know if I tell you enough, but the average realtor in the United States sells 8 or 9 or 10 homes in a year. And last year, in your first year, you sold how many houses?
23.
So you crushed it. And obviously this year you're already pacing to way outdo what you did last year because you're the right person. Grand Forks is the right community. But we talked for a brief moment and you mentioned sellers, people who are trying to sell their house.
Yeah.
Grand Forks is different than Fargo if you're a seller.
It is.
I'll first give the background of what's happening in Fargo. Everything matters with price point, and it's the same in Grand Forks too. But in Fargo, if your price point is under $250,000 or so, your house should sell on average in under 90 days. Should. Grand Forks is different.
Yep.
And the more expensive the house, the harder it is to sell, right?
Yep, it really is. So we use a tool, so to speak, that has a formula that we use called the absorption rate. So really it's about if the inventory that's currently on the market, no new inventory came on, how long would it take for all those homes to sell, right? So today we have 602 homes on the market in Grand Forks. And interestingly enough, there's between 60,000 and 300,000. There's a pretty even spread of 50, 47, 30 homes on the market in each of those price ranges. But right now, our rate of inventory and how long it would take for all that to sell is 10.75 months.
Fargo is 3.2 months to sell all our inventory. And Fargo is about 3 times the size of Grand Forks when we figure in the metros, right?
Yep.
We have about 1,200 homes to sell right now. You have 600 in Grand Forks, but the houses are sitting.
Yes. And
not yours, surprisingly enough. And so I want to go into that in a minute, but why are so many houses sitting for so long?
Well, I think, really we look at price, marketing, and condition, right? So if you're equate it to a 3-legged stool and one of those is kind of loose, you're a little wobbly. And so we want to make sure that all 3 of those are paired nicely together.
Right.
We, of course, can take care of the marketing. We have really cool things that we've been doing. The sellers are really responsible for the condition of the house. We have that conversation of, here's some tips or maybe some things you might consider doing, but we really need to come in at a good price point. And
the market determines the price, doesn't it?
Yes.
The location of the house as well as the market's going to determine that price.
Yeah, and one of the interesting things that I've seen actually in February is the houses in February that sold sat on the market for longer than they did in January by 30 more days. But they sold at a rate of 92% from their original list price. So what that's telling me is that the houses are sitting longer and they're selling for less than what they were originally listed at.
Because people are putting the I want price rather than the realistic price sometimes, right?
Yep. And I'm not afraid to come in at a competitive rate because that's what the market's doing. You're going to save money in the long run by your house selling quicker at the right price
oh my gosh,
than
you are
your
so
house
right.
sitting at the wrong price.
And the thing we're not talking about, and we're going to wrap on this, is, again, the emotion that is involved with selling your house.
Yep.
Imagine it's taking 11 months to sell your house. That's keeping your house show ready every day.
Yep.
And that is the stress of not knowing who's going to come into your house that day, or the interruptions that are going to happen in life. You cannot ever leave a dish in the sink
And if you're
when
not
your house is on
there,
the market.
I mean, it's those utility costs, right?
Oh my gosh.
You know,
Your
there's-
carrying costs, utility costs,
Yeah.
taxes, specials, mortgage, insurance, all those things.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Yeah.
Amber, you've had a fantastic run of it in 2018. 2019 is even brighter. Your days on market is not an 11-month or 10.75 month. You're selling your stuff quick because you're marketing exceedingly well and you're pricing to sell so that the seller can actually maximize their dollars and not minimize them, correct?
Yep.
So, folks, if you have a need in Grand Forks, here is my rave endorsement of Amber Flynn. She's as good as it comes. And so check out hatchrealty.com. You can, of course, see what's happening in Bismarck and Detroit Lakes and Fargo and Grand Forks and everywhere else. So, Amber, thanks for being with us. Always appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. Folks, we're going to swing to break. Check out, again, hatchrealty.com. This is Real Estate Radio with Erik Hatch.